In mobile technology, it's the same thing over and over. New device comes out, new device gets reviewed, new device gets forgotten. Almost no one follows up, no one follows along, no one sticks around to see how well a gadget ages over time, because there's always something new to drool over. So let's do something about it. Let's take another look at the round smartwatch that made round smartwatches a thing. I'm Michael Fisher with Pocket Now. This is the Motorola Moto 360, and this is episode 43 of After the Buzz. The Moto 360 started out as the only circular Android smartwatch, but it was never going to stay that way. In the 9 months since its release, it's been joined by the LG G Watch R and G Watch Urbane, with the Huawei Watch also coming soon. Add to that non-Android Wear offerings like the Alcatel One Touch watch and Samsung's Orbis wearable, and you might think the Moto 360's sheen would have faded, but it really hasn't. Part of this is due to its minimal design. Where other watches feature prominent lugs and other adornments, the 360 is as simple and streamlined as it gets, giving it a sense of timelessness that still turns heads even after nearly a year. Also, the stainless steel and Gorilla Glass have held up very well over that time. Despite frequent bashes against door jambs and tabletops, the casing bears very few scratches or dings on my unit. And those who buy the 360 today have more customization options than they did at first release. Moto Maker now allows for a choice of 3 different casing colors and a variety of watch bands. While I really liked the look and feel of the stone leather band when I first bought my 360, it's definitely aged into something less attractive over time. So you may want to spend the extra $50 to snag one of the metal options. Other aspects of the 360 have grown less impressive over time, too. The screen is still fine when considered alone, but alongside newer, sharper displays, it's not aging well, and that has nothing to do with the so-called flat tire at the bottom. The fact that it's an LCD instead of an OLED is just as disappointing today as it was at launch, considering its impact on battery life in ambient mode. The smart charging pedestal and bedside clock function are both excellent additions you really can't find anywhere else, but the 360 also gets pretty warm when topping up, and it stays warm until you take it off, which doesn't bode well for long-term battery health. In fact, I feel like it's already starting to lose some of its endurance. Last fall, I could sometimes get to the end of the day with 50% remaining. Nowadays, it's down to 30 or 40% by nighttime. On the plus side, you can charge it on any Qi-compatible charger, so if you already have a lot of those for your Qi-enabled smartphone, you can top up the 360 more easily or more often. Android Wear has seen a few updates since we first reviewed it last summer, and in concert with Motorola's own upgrades and the ever-growing pool of third-party apps and watch faces, it's now a much better smartwatch platform than it was. We covered the usability upgrades in our Android Wear Lollipop video, but they include discrete notification modes, finer control of the screen brightness in various situations, and general UX improvements to make using it less cumbersome. Sadly, the instability that seems inherent to Android Lollipop still rears its head. Voice control is still quite often hit and miss, and the Moto 360's occasional lag in animations and low frame rate in general does get annoying at times. It's possible the newest version of Wear, 5.1.1, will smooth out some of these bumps as it brings new features like Wi-Fi and a further revised user interface. But keep in mind that the Moto 360's old OMAP processor isn't as spry as the Snapdragons and the rest of the lineup, so we'll have to wait and see. At a base price of $249, the Moto 360 remains one of Android Wear's pricier options, even more so if you go for upgrades like the champagne gold finish or a metal band. And given its display and processor compromises, we'd recommend seeing what Motorola's coming up with for the 360's sequel, which we expect to see announced very soon, before pulling the trigger here. But Motorola is also huge into discounts. As this video was being put together, the company was running a promotion on its website that offered the Moto 360 and the new Moto G smartphone for $299 combined. It was a short sale, only 4 hours long, but Motorola does them so often that it's pretty easy to get a good deal. If you can snag one of those, the Moto 360 is definitely still worth picking up. And if you already own one, you can rest assured that it's one of the best smartwatches available, all things considered. But if you're strapped for cash, obsessed with the cutting edge, or just on the fence, wait till the Moto 360 second generation hits shelves before making your final decision. If you're curious about other smartwatches, we've covered most of them, from Apple to Alcatel One Touch, at PocketNow.com. Visit us there, and be sure to subscribe here on YouTube so you don't miss future videos from Pocket Now. Till next time, this has been Michael Fisher, Captain Two Phones on Twitter, reminding you that a flat tire isn't the end of the world, but a fat tire at the end of the day is pretty cool. See you next time.